Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully you guys are having a lovely Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you're living. Right now, it's nice and a little chilly and rainy in Baltimore, but hey, that's what we do here. So we're going to make the best of today. So what I do is I take a lot of sample questions, either for the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, the TEAS test, the HESI test, any kind of test that has to deal with algebra from A to Z. And what you guys are going to do is you're actually just going to try to answer the question as best you can, and then I go over it. As simple as that. Nice and easy, taking our time, breaking concepts down step by step, and then I add a little bit of some basic questions just to keep us on our toes. So we have a company opens an account with the initial balance of $36,100. The account earns interest and no additional deposits or withdrawals are made. The account balance is given by an exponential function A, where A of t is the account balance in dollars, t years after the account is open. The account balance after 13 years is $68,071.93. So which equation could define A? Is it A, B, C, or D? And once you think you got your answer, go ahead and just put it in the comments, and then we'll take it from there. And if you're like, I don't know what this is, Audrey, like, no idea, then you could put a question mark. Try to get yourself active and acclimated. All right? So, hello, Caribbean Queen. I am okay. How are you? Haven't seen me in a while? Exactly. So there's going to be times now that my students are slowly but surely starting to get back, I had to change my time frame, which is posted or pinned on my profile. So if you want to know when I'm supposed to go on, that's going to be like probably the most accurate. So I have to cut down my hours. All right. So Rox is saying multiply. All right. What are we multiplying? Okay. WTF. Nice name. I think it's B. All right. So thanks for the follow, Drywall. Appreciate it. Okay. So if you haven't learned, I also have my Algebra at Your Pace. It is a workbook series to help with the algebra, even some of the basic arithmetic to kind of help you with your GED, your ASVAB, your ACCUPLACERs, or even if you're a homeschool parent and you notice your kids are struggling with the basic skills, those books are going to help you as well, because not only is a workbook, it also is connected to a step-by-step recording from moi, right? You see how I do things process here. All right, so let's take a look. First off, we're looking at an exponential function, okay? With the exponential function, usually the formula has like your y, it has a starting amount, your a, which is your initial, then it has your b, which is your growth or decay rate, and then it has the time value. So by knowing what the exponential function basic skills look like, this A is going to be your starting point, how much they started with the account. So they said the account, the initial balance, was open at $36,100. So that should be your A. So right away, if you're taking a look, I know I can immediately get rid of B and I can get rid of C because my initial amount is not what we have up here. Now, they're also saying it's earning interest. That means we're looking at a growth, okay? It's earning positive interest, so it's going to be making money. The where you can look for that is going to be inside the parenthesis. So inside the parenthesis, if it's more than 1, it's a growth. If it's between 0 and 1, like 0.75, 0.50, that's considered decay. So that's the difference between A and D. So A, it gives us our 1.05, and D is giving us a 0.05. This is a decay. This is a growth. So your answer is going to be A. Okay? See, hopefully we did learn something a little bit new, right? Because a lot of people are probably losing points on that and you didn't even know that existed, right? So now you do. So that is going to be the areas that you look at. So the first number after the equal sign, that's going to be your initial balance, what you started off with. The B, or what's inside the parenthesis, if it's more than 1, it's a growth. If it's between 0 and 1, it's going to be a decay. Now, I don't want to say, oh, if it's like a fraction, then it's decay, because that's not always true. If I had, let's say if I had something like this. If I had something like this, inside you see a fraction, you're like, oh, boom, it's decay. No, it's not. Because if I tried to divide 5 divided by 4, I know I can get one group of 4s into my 5. And then I have like my 0.2, and there's going to be some other things, right? So it's like 0.25. Okay? This is definitely more than 1. So you want to take a look. Make sure it's a proper fraction. If it is inside the parenthesis, that means that will be a decay, like 1/4, 3/5. Okay, that will be decay. Anything that's an improper fraction, meaning your numerator is larger than your denominator, that's going to be a growth. All right. All right. You'll have the regions next week. Yes. You will definitely need to take a look for what? For algebra or for geometry? All right. So let's take a look at this one. So the circle shown has a center 0, or O, really, circumference 144 pi, and the diameters PR and QS. The length of the arc PS is twice the length of the arc PQ. What is the length of arc QR? So is it 24 pi, 48 pi, 72 pi, or 96 pi? Okay, so when they're talking about the arc, they're talking about this part right here. Okay. Hello, Jacinda. How are you? Welcome back. Okay. So Darwin is saying my 24. Okay. You're saying my A. It's like I'm finally having a nice, relaxing day. Yeah. That's going to go off the rails in about a few hours. But I'm enjoying this moment right now. So, and if you're not sure, go ahead and put a question mark into the chat. So that kind of helps me to like move things along, as well as to give some people some time to think. Okay? Because people are not going to have the answer like right off the bat. But as I have mentioned while you guys are trying to think this out, or I've mentioned in the past, if you're just stopping in, I love the fact that you're here. You know, go ahead, follow me here. This would be great. But there will be a replay. So if you ever want to know where to go for the replay, you just basically go here. I can't say that word, but you know, I can say it, but I can't say it here on TikTok. But then you can go and sign up for this channel and you'll see all of the replays of my TikTok lives. It's all in a playlist since February the 2nd, all the way up to yesterday. All right. So if you do need to kind of take a little refresher, that's where you can go to get it. Go ahead and subscribe to it. It'll be awesome. All right. And then if you need some assistance, that's where you can go. Okay. All right. So let's see. So Kylie's saying it's C. Okay. Shay is saying not sure. Thank you. How can I know? I'm going to break it down to you. K's got the 72. All right. Okay. Without drawing it. Okay, you don't have to draw it because it's already drawn. Okay, so you're having QR is equal to PS. Okay, Jeff's is saying 48. Nadia is saying 48. All right, so let's take a gander. So first thing, we need to know a couple of things. One, they're talking circumference. Now, circumference can be written one of two ways. So circumference can be written as 2 pi r, means 2 times pi times r, especially if they give you the radius. Or your circumference can be your pi d, okay? Pi times your diameter. So since they were making the mention of the diameters PR and QS, I'm assuming we're going to be looking at this form of the circumference. So they're basically saying that we have the whole circumference all the way around is going to be 144 pi, which that means we don't have to do the conversion of pi to the traditional, what everyone knows as 3.14. We don't have to go that far. But they also gave us some other information. So the length of the arc PS, okay, the length of this arc is twice the length of arc PQ. Well, since I don't know what the length of arc PQ is, I'm going to have that be my unknown. And they're saying that this is going to be twice as big or long as that. So this is going to be my 2x. So they want to know what is going to be the arc of QR. Well, since we basically have our circumference, the whole entire thing is going to be that 144 pi. So why not take it like, okay, how many unknowns do we have? So this is going to be twice. These, since it's central angle and is vertical, this is going to be our unknown, as well as this is going to be twice the size of that unknown. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unknowns. So why not take that whole circumference, which is my 144 pi, and divide that bad boy by 6. So how many 6's can go into 1? None. How many 6's can go into 4? So that'll be 2. All right, remainder of 12, remainder of 2, then bring down the 4, make it 24. How many 6's can go into 24? That'll be 4. So for those that were saying 24 pi, I got you. But this is not giving me what QR is. This is giving me what PQ or SR. Since I want to know what QR is, that means I got to multiply this by 2. Because just like it mentioned, the length of PS is twice the length of PQ. So that means this is going to be twice the length. So that means this is going to be twice the length. We got vertical angles. So we have kind of congruent arch lengths because it's hitting right there at the center. So that will give you your 48 pi. Letter B. Where did the 6 come from? Well, this is the original side, and they said it was going to be twice as big as this, right? So if this is going to be twice as big, that means directly across, this is going to be twice as big. Directly across, these are going to be just our 1's. So we count. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. So we have 6 unknowns. That's where the 6 came from. Okay. All right, so we got it. All right, cool. Okay, so I know it gets a little bit iffy, but this is what they do. All right, so let's take a look at this one. The solution to the given system of equations is xy. What is the value of x? What is the value of x? Any other way? No, Vincent. That was I tried to get to the shortest way possible. Okay, so you're just saying 40. Ozzy is saying 40. You're back, Ozzy. Back from the grave. I love it. Okay, Smelly saying x is 40, y is negative 80. LaRose is saying 40. Jason saying 40. I will explain. I'm just giving some other people an opportunity to tell me what they have. Trust me, I'm never going to just be like, all right, here's a question. All right, hi, that was great. That was great live. I'm out. All right, Ash is saying x is negative 20. I don't know what that symbol is, saying 38. Mara saying 40. Okay, I got you, LaRose. Elizabeth saying 40. Mink saying 40. Vincent saying 35. Okay, thanks for the follow. All right, so let's take a look. Now, we can solve system of equations one of two ways. We can, well, really three. We could graph it, but no, we don't have time. Remember, all these exams are timed. We could do substitution. The reason why, they're telling us what y equals for the first one. So I'm going to take this negative 2x and I'm going to substitute it for the y in the second equation. So this is what happens. It's going to be 3x plus my negative 2x is equal to 40. Okay? So anytime they say x equals or y equals, you take that information and you substitute in to the other equation. So now we have the same variable. So we have 3 plus negative 2. So if I have $3 and I spent $2, that means I have $1 left. So 1x or x, that means the same thing. And then we just bring down the equals 40. And guess what they're asking? They're asking what the value of x is. We don't need to substitute, people. Always when you start getting an answer, check the question to make sure that you're just answering the question. Don't give me the y, because the time that you took to calculate the y, you could have used in the other problem, because there's going to be some problems that you might need a little extra time on. All right. So once you see your answer, GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, SAT, ACT, Regents, all of those examinations, when you see your answer, click it, bubble it, circle it, move on. Okay. Don't be like, oh, well, then you can do the y. No one cares. I hate to say it that rudely, but basically no one really cares. All right. 2. Okay. Yeah. So always make sure we're getting our signs. Okay. Okay. So someone says, what if you got y over negative 2 and you plugged up first y over negative 2? So that means you solved this for x. Well, my whole thing is, not a problem for explaining. My whole thing is, why would you solve this top equation for a variable when it's already solved for a variable? You're just doing extra work and you're making life harder for yourself. If you want to plug it in, you can plug it in. And you're plugging that in for your x. So that means you got 3 times y over negative 2. And then you can have fun with that. Okay? And then you're going to have to take your answer and plug it back in to solve for x. You're doing too much. Okay? All right. Awesome. So now, okay, I can raise this up a bit and over. Okay, so the frequency table summarizes the 57 data values in a data set. What is the maximum data value in the data set? Plug into y. Okay, so you're just plugging in the -2. Where's the x at? Okay, so Casey thinks it's 11. Okay, is this Algebra 1? If so, do you think you can tutor me? I could definitely tutor. I charge $77 for my tutoring service for all my TikTok followers. Non-followers, the price has gone up to $92. Okay, Sadie thinks it's 14. Okay, so I have 2 answers. Both of them are just questioning themselves. It was like, I don't know what it is. And if you don't know what it is, go ahead and put a question mark. It's perfectly fine. I feel that this is a safe space. Jason's saying it's 11. Okay, so we got 2 people for 11. It's a weird question. I've never seen something like this. Maybe 57. Okay. All right. Thank you for the question marks and your honesty. How to know the value? It's right here. That might help you guys out a little bit. Okay. So 8 or 11. And they're saying, what's the maximum data value in the data set? Nope. You don't do all of them. Multiply everything? No. Is that Asha? The most frequent. 14 is the max. Jennifer saying 13. Edit X saying 14. Blair 14. Period 11. Okay. Darwin. Okay. Is it not just 14? Okay. We got 11. We got 19. We got 11. No. 6. We got 10. I think it's like, yeah. All right. Is it A? Hi, Jennifer. Okay, I think it's 11. All right. Okay, ready? The maximum data value in the data set. They're not talking about the maximum numbers, the frequency. No. They're talking about the maximum data value. That's 14. That's it. That's it. Okay. Yep. So they're just talking about the data value. Okay. So is the title data value? What was the maximum data value? Maximum data value is 14. That's it. I know. See, trickery. That's okay. But this is what they do. Okay, so this is a great review for those that are thinking about the ACCUPLACER, that those are thinking about ASVAB, GED to an extent. This can be helpful, okay, because a lot of the concepts are used throughout all standardized assessments, especially the algebra piece. Okay. Exactly. See, Casey, they're doing all the stuff. Where they got the 57, let me come back for a second. Where they got the 57, if you add all the frequencies up, you will get 57 total numbers, okay? But they just wanted the maximum data value in the data set. They're just looking for that number, okay? Yep. It was so simple that it just it's confusing everyone's brain because everyone's expecting you gotta do this and this and that. All right, so number 15 before we switch gears. All right, so one leg of the right triangle has a length of 43 and 2/10 millimeters. The hypotenuse of the triangle has a length of 196 and 8/10 millimeters. What is the length of the other leg of the triangle in millimeters? So is it A, 43 and 2/10, B, 120, C, 192, or D, 201 or 201 and 5/10? Yeah, that was tricky. Yeah, that's how to get you. Okay, so Jenny. Jenny is saying A. Okay, edit X is saying probably A. Adam's saying A. Okay. Jamara saying A. Do you add the numbers? Ooh. That what the hypotenuse is? That's okay, because I'm going to remind you. Okay, you're guessing A, identical angles. LaRose is saying B. Okay, Casey, I need paper for this. Aha. Okay. Coco, I think A. Bear thinking B. That. Yeah. Yeah, that. Gotta use Pythagorean. All right. So 43 divided by 2. Okay. Is that Kayla with a C and subtract, blah, blah, blah. Right? So you got Kent with a B. All right. Now remember, if you're not sure, you can always use that question mark. Okay, thank you for your honesty. So we got the square root of that. If you do that, we'll get a decimal. Okay. All right. So I think just guessing. All right, we got a B. So Katie was unsure. No problem. Okay, you're going to go with D. Okay. Because it's less than the hypotenuse. Okay. All right, so we have B with my kisses, A with my hearts. Thank you for the follow. Shay saying C. Is this square? A squared plus B squared equals C squared? Yes, it is CC or C squared. Love that. All right. So, doing process of elimination. Okay. First off, little bit of instruction. If I have a right triangle, the side that's directly across my 90-degree angle, that's my hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is the longest side, okay, of the three. These other two sides, they're called the legs. And I think a lot of people probably never knew that's what they were called. Yeah, these things had names. Okay, so the legs, they're interchangeable. So if I were to do Pythagorean's theorem, that would be my A squared plus B squared equals C squared. The C squared is going to represent your hypotenuse, your longest side. So they want us to find the length of the other leg. They never said that this is an isosceles right triangle. Because if it was an isosceles right triangle, that means the two legs will be the same lengths. But they're not giving us that. So A is probably out. Also, D is going to be out because they're saying that my hypotenuse is 196 and 8/10. 201 is definitely way too big. The legs are always going to be less than the hypotenuse. So it's either going to be 120 or 192. So this is when you're really going to have to get into the math. So we can say 43.2 squared plus our unknown leg squared is equal to the square of my 196.8 squared. All right, so this I actually pulled from SAT. This is like a sample SAT question. Surprise, you're doing SAT work. Look at you. So you will be able to use a calculator because now the SATs is connected to Desmos. I know, back in the day, you couldn't even bring in a calculator. Couldn't even think about a calculator. But because of that, I want to isolate my b squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract my 43.2 squared on both sides. So in order for me to get b by itself, I have to do the inverse of squaring. So the inverse of a square is a square root. Okay. So once you do your 196 and 8/10, square that. Now, what I mean by square that, I'm not saying take this and multiply by 2. Okay? You have to square it. That means 196 and 8/10 times 196 and 8/10. Okay? Same thing with the 43 and 2/10. You're going to multiply that by the 43 and 2/10. So, since you can use your lovely handy dandy calculator, this is a rare moment, so embrace as much as you can. So if you plug it in, I always like to have extra parentheses. So let me show you what I'm talking about. And especially if anybody is thinking about taking, like say college algebra, you need a graphing calculator. Go find a friend, please. For the love of Jesus, do not buy the little cheap little one-handed thing. That's not going to help you. It's not. It's not. So if you're taking college algebra, maybe for the winter session, or maybe you're thinking about taking it in the spring, go to one of your friends who has kids. See if you can borrow their calculator. Okay? Just trust me. All right. So once you plug all that in and you hit your enter, because I have my square root, I put a parenthesis around the 196 and 8/10, then I square it, minus I put a parenthesis around the 43 and 2/10, put a parenthesis around it and square it, and then I put an end parenthesis. And that gives us exactly 192. Okay, but if you want to take it into chunks, you want to find this squared first and then find that squared and then subtract it, then do the square root, you can do that too. Okay, whatever makes you feel well, but at least doing the process of elimination. Here's another hint. If my hypotenuse is like 196 and the other one is like 43, it's not going to be in the 120s. It's going to be definitely more than 120, but I just wanted to show you to work it out so you can actually see what would it be for our other leg. All right. How often do I go live? My new schedule, most of it's going to be happening during the weekend because a lot of my students now are starting to come back. And I don't want to say, yeah, I'm going live. And then all of a sudden I can't because we got everyone else kind of floating around. All right, here we go. Simplify. Let's see what you can do. 1 minute. Let's see what's going to happen. Put your answer into the chat. I'm going to start doing these flashcard things just to get you up and moving and that you're not like, oh, I don't want to do. Okay. All right. Okay. So I got a 64. I got a -4. I got 4 user. I got 64. Marky Mark and Funky Bunch, 64. Hello, Michael, with the 64. Tanya Squared, we got 64. Coco with the 64. Bailey with 64. You cheated. Stop it. Khadijah, we got a 64. Okay, 64 to the second power. No, there shouldn't be. Okay, my Caribbean Queen with the 64. Cat with the 64. That kid with 24. Arlene 64. My blank space was 64. Then I have a 124. All right, let's take a look. Okay, right away we're looking at the order of Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. From left to right. Can't forget about that part. So the first thing we have to tackle is what's inside that parenthesis. So inside of our bracket, we still have a 20 minus, now 4 plus 8, that will give us our 12. And it's still being squared. Now, brackets and parentheses, very similar, okay? So now we have to do inside here before we square everything. Don't square everything and then do subtraction. No, all right? So we are looking at 2 minus 12, so that gives us 8, and that 8 is being squared. 8 squared is not the same as saying 8 times 2. Stop it, okay? 8 squared, that means 8 times 8. And 8 times 8 will give us our answer of 64. All right? Okay, let's do this one. Solve. Let's get it, let's go. All right, let's get it, let's go. Okay, thank you for the follows, everyone. Okay, yep, just tell me what my answer is. We're about to post up in a few. Try to work on our speed and accuracy as best as we can. All right, let's see some of these answers. I got -10, -10 7s. I got +10, I got a 2 and -10. We got X is 10 and -10, -10, potato -10, Caribbean Queen -10, LaRose and -10. We got a 2, a 10, and -10, and -10 for Big Steve. Hey, welcome back, Big Steve. Coco with a -10. Michael, I saw your -10. Song Sandwich with -10. Bailey with the -10. Darwin, no, that's all right. I can break it on down. Just sounded like Yoda 5 seconds ago. Okay, here we are. All right, thanks for the follow. Juan's not sure. Got you. Is that Kimi? Michelle with the -10. All right. So now we're solving. Okay, so the ultimate goal when you're solving an equation is you want to get your x or your variable by itself. So let me kind of put this right here and rewrite. Yeah, can't be wasting paper. Paper is expensive. Good Lord. Okay, so first thing, we want to get rid of this multiplication. So we want to distribute this 3 to everything inside the parenthesis. So when we distribute, you're multiplying. So it's 3 times 2, which gives us 6. And then 3 times a negative x. So that gives me a -3x. So now everything on the left-hand side, including the equal sign, is coming on down. So now you have to make a decision. Do you want your x's to be on the left or do you want your x's to be on the right? It doesn't matter. I know there's a lot of high school teachers who are like, Audrey, shut up, because it makes it easiest for us to graph it and to understand it. Either way, you're going to get the same blessed answer, all right? So if you notice that I have a -4 here and I have a -3 here, either way, something is going to be added. So if I want to, let's say, add the 3, we'll keep it so all my teacher friends can be like, thank you, Audrey. All right, so we always have to do what's called the inverse. So when you see subtraction, you need to do the opposite, which is addition. So they can cancel out and it will help it move to the other side. So now here you have a -4 and a +3. So if you owe me $4, that's a negative thing, but you paid me $3. All right, awesome. But you still owe me $1. Give me my money. All right. So now I want to get x by itself. So that means this minus 4 needs to go. So in order for it to go to the other side, I got to think of the opposite. So that means the opposite of minus 4 is plus 4. So now those are going to cancel out. You owed me $4. You paid me $4. You don't owe me any money. So now I'm bringing down my negative 1x. So now I have 6 plus 4. They're both positive, so I can go ahead and add them together, which gives me 10. But I don't want to know what negative 1x is. I just want to know what x is. So that means this negative 1 needs to go away. So this negative 1x, that's multiplication. The opposite or the inverse of multiplication is division. And what we're going to divide that coefficient of that negative 1. A negative divided by negative is positive. 1 divided by 1 is 1. So we can say 1x or just simply x. So now 10 divided by negative 1, when the signs are different, your answer is going to be negative. That's the rule for multiplication and division. And then anything divided by 1 is itself. So our answer is going to be negative 10. Okay? All right? Going through it step by step. I haven't. I might try that, Marky Mark. Because I know I already lost my blue pen yesterday. It died on me. Just gave up. It was just like, and I'm going to work. No! Right in the middle of life. It was hilarious. All right? So do you see how you can go through this step by step? And I know there's probably some people in here like, oh my God, I got that answer like 5 hours ago. But I'm really trying to reach those people that, one, you haven't seen math since you were a fetus, like this type of math. And then also the ones that have those math phobias, that when you were that little kid in middle school and all of a sudden people were like, yeah, okay, we're done. We can go to recess early. And you just wanted to have one more question so you can understand it. But you did not want to be that kid that would be like, yeah, can we just... Yeah, I get it because I was that kid. So I totally understand. All right, one more and then we'll get back to one more page. And then we are... Actually, we're going to do 2 more, and I'm going to see what you can do. Let's up it. Let's 10x it. Let's do this. We got this. I'm going to do 2 more solving. I'm going to do this solving and another card, and then we're done for today. Okay. I know, that's what I'm saying, Mr. Socks. Right? Yep, I got you. No problem, Suzanne. Yep, all you had to do, MN, all you had to do was divide both sides by -1. Okay. Alexa, help, what's wrong? Like, what's happening? Is someone abusing you? What's going on? Yeah, I get really defensive real quick. Okay, so I got some 2s. I have some 3s. Basically from the same 2 people. Oh, and user 45 is saying 3. Bailey with a 3. La Rose saying 2. Okay, Melvin saying 3. Michael is saying 3. Okay, Liam saying 3. Big Steve saying 3. Big Face. Everyone's big. What's going on? With a 3. Coco with a 3. Okay, you're good at this? Okay. Mighty Fire. Oh, yeah. Hey, with a 3. Sakura. I want to say Sakara, but I'm probably not saying that correct. I'm saying 3. Bridget with a 3. Okay, Veronica. Victoria with a 3. All right, for your eyes only with a 3. Okay. All right. I'm saying that. Neek saying 3. Arizo saying 3. Okay. Juan Diego. Is this the same Juan Diego I haven't seen in like forever and a day? Everybody's coming back. All right. So let's take a look. Hey, my lady, welcome back. You're saying 3 as well. All right. So let's take a gander as soon as I can find my pens. So first thing we have, I'm just going to rewrite. Okay, with our -10, x minus 5. All right, so that's our original problem. Just want to slide that up. So first thing, we need to distribute. Okay, -10. Okay, so we're distributing in each of our parentheses. So let's do this. Let's look at one at a time. So I'm going to cover this side up. I'm going to work on the left side only. So we have 4 times 2x. That gives us 8x. 4 times -1. That gives me a -4. Okay, so I can bring down the equal sign. All we did was distribute. When we distribute, we multiply. So now, covering up the other side. So we have our -10 is being multiplied. So -10 times x, that gives us -10x. Now -10 times a -5. And I think this is what happens. A lot of you guys keep thinking that this is minus, and then you're like, wait, I'm subtracting. I'm like, no. You're basically using this minus sign, and now it's acting as a negative for the 5. Okay, the signage always goes on the left-hand side. So we have a negative times a negative. That gives me positive. Anytime you're multiplying and the signs are the same, it's addition. Okay, it's positive. Then 10 times 5 gives me 50. So now, cover this up, focus on this. So we want to get our x's on one side of this equal sign. All right, so think about it. Okay, so now I want to come over here and bond up with 8x. So if I'm that negative and I really want to be positive, I need to change my life, right? So I have to also be positive. So whatever I do on one side, I need to carry that same energy on the other side. So then the old me, done. Here's the new me, new and improved. And now I am 18x. Okay, so bring down my -4. Bring down the positive 50. So I can just write 50. Keep that equal sign. So now we're focusing on this. So since my x's is here, that means this person is trying to bring their negativity to me. No, go away. So how you get rid of someone that's negative? Be positive. It makes them crazy. So we're going to add 4 on both sides, because -4 plus 4, that gives me 0. So I keep myself, my energy, my 8x. And now over here, 50 plus 4 gives me 54. Okay, so now I really want to be at the ultimate. This 18 is holding me back. Just think of life. So what we do, we divide them out of our lives. Divide by 18. Okay, so 18 divided by 18 gives me 1. Now, if you just write the x, there's always an assumption that there is a 1 in front of it, because there is physically 1x right there. So now we got to think, how many 18s can go into 54? So if you said 3, you were correct. Because 18 times 3, carry the 2, will give me 54. So x equals 3. Okay? And if you're like, oh, I kind of like these cards because I developed matching cards. Okay, so I actually made a whole entire book with a bunch of solving, also some evaluating, and as well as that simplifying card that we have. And it's like a book of like 600 different problems. Okay, so if you need something to like practice with, if you need something to, okay, so if I need something to practice with, or maybe you're a classroom teacher and you just need some kind of filler. We all know, like during the holidays, like especially when Christmas came around, everyone was like, what am I going to teach these kids? I don't want to do anything new, but at the same time, I don't want to do anything. So you can always whip these cards out, right? So it's just something that I have with my algebra at your pace. All right. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. Go take a nap. Go take a nap. Now, don't forget, if you haven't done so already, if you want the replay, because I know some people are like, I just got here. But at the same time, I got to get back to work. So if anything, you can go here. Okay. Go this one. Give me some time to upload it. But all of my replays that I've done here, that is like with some of the problems that we were doing earlier, or it may be some that I just emphasize on one particular thing, like factoring or adding, subtracting fractions, doing slope, graphing equations of lines, all of that stuff. They're all located here. But if you're just like, man, I wish I had a workbook that I can actually do like my work and my process in, guess what your girl did for you? All for you over Christmas break. This is what happens when you're unemployed for 3 weeks. This is what happens to tutors. I actually developed a workbook. Okay, so this is volume 1. It has a lot of practice problems in there. It also gives you a section where if you scan the QR code, it will take you to this topic, and then you can write down your notes. And there is a section inside the videos where you can practice. So now you have a section where you can do a follow along practice. You can pause the video, try to work it out yourself, and then use the video as your answer key, as well as you're given extra practice problems. That is not overwhelming. That is test related. Some of it a little naked math, but some of them will give you some test related type questions. And then if you want the answers to the extra practice, you can get them. They're right on the backhand side. Now, if you want to see a recording of me working out these practice problems, that is going to be a separate cost, and it is available for like $5.99, right? And I do like the extra practice problems. You'll get not only just the one section for the $5.99, you will get the answer key to all the practice problems, including the quiz that I give you guys at the end of this. So every volume gets their own quiz. So maybe you just need help with integers. Maybe you just need help with equations of line. Then you can just pick that volume out and then work on those problems. Now, in addition to that, I give you some reference pages. So here we are. Remember the rules that we were talking about for adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. So all that's here for you. And it's all related to that volume. Okay, so decimal information. It's got all this stuff. Okay, we even got the factor sheet to help you with your factors so you can get your GCF and your LCMs. Then we have like certain words and phrases to help you decode word problems. All right, so all of these, and of course for volume 1, I like to give gifts. Who doesn't like gifts? So my gift was looking at some factor cards for exponents. So what I did was, let's say for example, this one, this is going to be the problem, this is going to be the answer. You can either take this page out the book, fold it right here, and you can just flip back and forth. Or if you want to cut it out and do a matching game, you can do that as well. Okay, so the link is actually in my bio. It's off of my website, and it'll take you directly to everything that you need. And not only, let me zoom in because I'm still waiting for my author's copies. I'm not going to lie to you. So you have your volume 1. So right now 1 through 6 is available. Okay, I still got a few more volumes to go. So then because remember, it was 3 weeks over Christmas break. This is what I did. Then we have volume 2, which is dealing with your functions, your ratios, order of operations. Volume 3, solving equations. Volume 4 is dealing with the linear equations. So like going with slope, equation of the line, parallel and perpendicular lines. And then 5 and 6 I had to combine in one book just to beef it up a bit, which you have your inequalities, your system of equations and inequalities, as well as your absolute value. So the other ones that I'm working on is the geometry part of it with the area, circumference, and volume, as well as your data analysis piece and radical and rational functions. So that's all coming up. Do you help with the TEAS test also? I just do the math part. Yeah, you just want me to just do the math part. But here's my thing. If you need help with the TEAS test, you can see a blessed RN. Let me see if I can put the name in the chat now that I can see you on my computer. Because if you need help with not only the test itself, but also for your dosage calculations, go see a blessed RN. She's the best at that. All right. Yeah, I've definitely been busy, Michael. Because that's not only it. All right. So this is the book. All of this is right now available on the A, but you also can get it through my website, which is the link in the bio. But then this is the book that I have all of these lovely little flashcards on. Okay. All 3. It's about 600 flashcards is right in there. If you're not strong with your squares and your cubes, you got your flashcards for that one. And if you want any of the word problems to help you with the verbal and the algebraic, I have that. If you want to get like all of my resources to help you with the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, or even just Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 in general, this is going to be the book that has all the formula sheets that I have on my notebooks. They're all listed there. Now, if you want to know, what are the formulas that is going to be used the most for the GED and the ASVAB and the ACCUPLACER, this is going to be the book for you, okay? I actually mixed this with the exponents together. So if you just want to get the books themselves and not the workbook, you got options. AKA, yes, your girl was really busy. All right, so all the formulas, slope, everything, and all of them do have answer keys with it. So it's not like, did I do it right? Yeah, well, then there's an answer key. Also, multiplying integers. Okay, so if your multiplication skills, instead of just getting a regular multiplication that goes up to 10, this one goes up to 16. So from 0 to 16, and is dealing with either 1 negative number or 2 negative numbers. I don't see too many of that. This is thicker than a Snicker. It's like 153 pages, which each page holds 6 problems. Do the math. Have fun with that. Okay, and then last but not least for right now is the dividing integers. Similar, the same with the multiplying. One number is positive and the other, or there's some that has both that are negative, just to get you up and ready. Okay. Yep, so there are online copies and there are physical copies. If you go to my website, if you go to the link in the bio, you'll be able to see the difference. Both links are there and ready and active, ready to go. All right. All the prices are there. Everything is all listed. Trust me, because I redid my website for you. did all this for you just so you can make sure, okay? So again, if you like the flashcards, which I'm going to be introducing a lot to the lives, the cover of the book is like this, and the pages are going to be somewhat similar like this, obviously a little bit smaller. But you can see you get 4 problems, and this is just the evaluate. You get 4 problems on one, and then you get big numbers on the other side, okay? So it's going to be looking like this in the book, but obviously you can make copies of it. You can cut them out of the book. You can laminate them, because that's what I did with mine. I got myself a laminator from the W. And don't buy the Scotch sheets. Get the generic ones at the W, Walmart. So much cheaper, and it does exactly what it needs to do. Okay? Spoken from a teacher that knows how to save some money, but also supply her classroom. Okay. All right. So is pre-algebra more difficult than algebra? No, it's the other way around. I'm told to skip pre-algebra, but I'm struggling. Yeah, you shouldn't skip pre-algebra. Pre-algebra is the word pre that comes before algebra. Okay, how was my new year? Really, boy, I was thinking about you today. I don't know why. I forgot why. I was thinking about you today. How was my New Year's? It was all about this. I was doing this. I was doing books. All these books. This was my New Year's. This is what keeps me going. And I finally got this book. I was so happy I cried. And then if you want to take a look at... So like here's for my cubes. So we can have 1 times 1 times 1, which is equivalent to 1 times 3, which can give me the result of 1. Whoops, if I can get it together. If I did the cube root. So the cube root of 1 is 1. So this is what I did for my squares and for my cubes. Okay, so it's like really trying to get the fact, and I have all the answer keys with that. Okay, so if you're interested, that's where you can go. I'm going to constantly keep talking about these. If you have questions of like where to go, because I know I cost money for my tutoring, and I was just really trying to think of a way to still help and support people. But at the same time, I can't do it for free, guys, because I have to live as well. Because if I don't live, guess what? This doesn't work. You know, I gotta pay bills just as much as everybody else. So that's why I wanted to think of something that is going to be affordable, but yet effective, so more people can get their GED, so more people can just say, I don't need to work 4 different dead-end jobs. I can work a better job, or I can do whatever I want to do. Well, within reasons, of course. But I just want you to feel better and want to improve because, guys, we got one life. This is it. And I know you want to do something better. And if it's math that's in the way, let me help you get away from that barrier. Okay? I have a flat rate. I don't do any ranges. Okay? I came to mind. I know, right? You are a hoot. Okay? Oh, thank you, Lay. Appreciate that. Okay, so hourly rates for my TikTokers is $77. Okay, for my other non-TikTok people, they are being charged $92. So yeah, that's my whole thing. And with some of the books, the most that you will pay is $24.55 for the book. And again, like you're going to have me. All you do is scan. And once you scan, you're going to see a video. You take your notes. You write everything down in one book. Then you have some practice problems to look at. Okay? And then you have all your notes, places to go. And then once you purchase it, you have it. Once you purchase it, you have it. So like if all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got sick and I couldn't take the test or I was scheduled, then you still got the videos to go back to. Okay, you still got my lives to come on to. You still got my YouTube channel to look if you want to do something in depth. The reason why the books is so, for me, it's so important because I used to suck at math. And I'm not even afraid to say that. Like adding, subtracting. Like if anyone gave me a problem like this when I was a kid, I would be like, hell no, because I saw this. Now, because of practice, because someone told me that fractions is just another way of dividing, and someone broke concepts down to me, I'm able to feel comfortable. Now I'm a teacher. Don't ask me how that happened. I have no idea. But now I'm a teacher. Okay. All right. So the digital will be able to print out. Yep, the digital one you'll be able to print out. As soon as you get Alexa, as soon as you get the stuff and it's yours, you can print it out. You can print it out to your heart's content. Okay? If you want, you print it out and you're like, oh, you showed it to someone else and someone else wants it. You know, just push them my way. Just make sure that we're giving credit when credit's due. Because if I see if I see my stuff on someone else's platform and they're claiming it as their own, trust me, I will sue you. I will. Don't push it. Okay. All right. Yeah. Right. You're a professional artist. That's what I'm saying. But that's what we're doing. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. But I'm here. You know, I'm here. So I'm going to get back to work so I can get not only the rest of these books done. My goal is to get them get the whole series completed by February 1st. And I'm also working on mock tests that I was doing months ago. I'm bringing those back and putting them in a book. So all 6. So 6 practice tests that you can use if you're taking the GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, or maybe even just Algebra, and you just wanted some practice and you wanted to put yourself in a testing situation. I'm putting a book together so you can have that. Okay? Because trust me, I don't know how much longer I have on the face of this earth, but if I can get this and have it live on forever and helping people while I move on, life's good. Then I lived very well. All right. Awesome. Can we add me, please, plus you and solve so not ask why? Pearly. All right. All right, everyone. So I'm going to get back to work. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I appreciate it. Again, if you need some extra or if you want to see the replay, just give me a few moments. And then this is where you go. This is the list that you want in there. And if you can hit subscribe, that would be awesome. I think I should be at 1,300 right now, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So let's keep that going. Yeah, you did went there. All right, everyone. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Probably around the same time at 3, maybe a little bit earlier. I think I might be coming on like around 12:30 because I have someone at 2, and I have a feeling that we're going to be doing more than an hour. Just a hint, just a hunch. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Stay dry. Take care. Bye now.